following material may contain sex, coarse language, and violence.
Of course! Of course!
Oh. Ooh. That's on my fucking disc. That's a truth.
The best place on a Krogan's actually that big, thick, meaty neck.
The frog neck.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad that they at least reportedly seem to use more Vulture. It's so much easier to take them down. I think it's going to be shotguns.
The problem with that is, of course, we can't use our normal tactics of depriving their atmosphere. Because Vulture can survive in a vacuum for a limited amount of time.
That wouldn't be any fun anyway.
As Canturians, just a much more limited amount of time. much more.
Depriving atmosphere may not be an option. Well, it isn't really an option because if they use, both Krogan and Vulture, as you know, can survive without atmosphere.
We may have to do this the old Navy way. First one to die loses.
I'm not entirely aware. How do they function in without light? Can either of them see in the dark?
No.
Okay. Let's look now that I have an tap the night vision. That might be a tactical option.
Once we get in system and we find a drive path,
shouldn't be too difficult, depending on how frequently trafficked the system is. I was kind of hoping we could catch them when they were just travelling in ship. It would be very easy to negate the advantages of the ship if we just pretend to be crippled and let them board us.
There is...
No, you don't want to be boarded by Vulture or Krogan because, as we said before, they can live without atmosphere.
Oh man, if they got in the test ducts, that would not be fun.
I'm sure we have some kind of countermeasure for that, right?
We have the gas.
We've got the gas.
Does it work on the Vulture?
Yes.
Cool. Oh no, we did use it. Yes, I remember.
There is one thing we're overlooking. They might not have the Star of Dimitrescu.
They might have already pulled it off. They might never have had it in the first place.
Exactly. All we know is there was an artifact they wanted to sell. That could have been anything.
We can likely make something out of it, although, of course, if it is the Star, that's the best possibility.
The other question is we still have to get it back.
Who do we return it to? Do we take it to the Citadel where it was intended for, or do we return it to the Asari directly?
Fastest place would be the Citadel.
The safest place might be Thessia.
And that's correct. The other side.
It shouldn't be too hard to take us there, and I'm sure you would like to go and see.
The easiest way would actually be to contact the Asari High Command and ask them where they would like it.
They could even meet us halfway, and they would bring a lot of firepower to secure it.
Perhaps even one of those nice big dreadnoughts.
Oh, I would like to see one. Maybe touch it.
It's a ship.
Yeah, I know.
What a ship. 16 quad-axial fusel thrust engines. 3 constantly functioning Element Zero reactors.
You live on one, you live on any of them. They're all the same.
That particular
Deck
curve
by
sloping to their armor.
Deck by deck gravitational control.
Some people
Triple
live the good
redundant
life.
control systems.
Triple?
Yeah, triple. You don't get that on other ships.
It's a shame we aren't quite on that scale. I would love to install something like that.
Are you done?
Oh,
I pray.
If we are finished. Oh,
Have I mentioned the filter systems on their internal environment?
I'm going to go get changed.
Wait. Stay. I'm assuming I finished my school project because it wasn't super complicated.
I don't know what it is, so I don't know what to tell you. I'm sure I'll
It's not much beyond.
It's a light show.
I will take smoke and mirrors. Okay, sure, go now.
It's smoke and mirrors.
That's a sleight of handshake.
Yes.
That's how you do magic.
You do have to make a charisma check to see how well you perform your little...
I'll do that.
It's a good thing you don't have a faggotry skill like I do.
It's really just like the cursor should be like, ta-da! And then you just look at the things, and I maybe do a little bit of scientific explanation of what I've sort of figured out. But I have a presentation. If anyone is particularly sensitive to bright light, you may wish to avert your eyes at least temporarily.
Oh, sorry, I grew up in Invictus. I can't handle things like bright lights, strong smells, crosswinds.
Sidewalks.
Oh, sidewalks. Nasty things that could break your ankles.
Funny.
Scope.
Bright flash of light as the Omnitools flare to life, depicting Rosa in various forms, receiving damage.
I don't want to look at your porn.
No.
Oh, this is awkward.
It's science. Look. So there's this her flying with jump jets. So I've added like jump jet flares, and you can see the jump jets are bulkier and more powerful than your traditional ones might be. Though there's that label, doesn't depict finished product. And then this one with some kind of like hard light shield, and her shield seemed to be doing weird stuff. And I think with the installation of some sort of not so complex VI, I could make more efficient shielding for her. Well, for all of our suits, I just chose the Colossus armor because it's the coolest. And of course,
dude, seriously, this is kind of scary for me. You're putting giant fucking rockets on my back.
they not much. They're
Wait, I draw the line at VI. Jesus fucking
It's
Christ!
actually, Rover, I'm already doing that for you.
Holy
You know that
shit!
shield improvement I give you? It's actually putting small AIs in your suits. VIs. I say VIs. That's a me mistake, not a low game mistake.
A lot of mercenary groups run small VIs and for weapon systems and things like that. In fact, in the future, I plan to do something similar.
For targeting and such.
Yes. In the case of this one, I think I can make the shields more efficient with the VI as it reacts more specifically to the location and in the potential for deflection, depending on the on what the projectile is. Of course, and if you see here, there's some like modified plating. It's like a cutaway that isn't accurate because I don't know what the actual cutaway is. Underneath the armor, on the internal layer, I think we used to do something similar on the fleet. I can make some kind of it's like a denser fibrous material to make the armor more durable as well.
32 on physics. Does this seem feasible?
These are all feasible research projects.
As a VI programmer and engineer with 19 in the damn skill,
Yeah.
do I already know how to do that thing he's telling us about?
I mean, you are, I believe, working on a lot of this. It's outside of the... Because you're talking with the shield, you're talking about...
Oh, it's also the armor. But
Yeah, but you're also talking about not the kinetic barriers, am I right? You're talking about, like, that hard light shield you would...
Yeah, so there's that. The shield VI is actually an enhancement to the base armor shielding. The first one, the cheapest upgrade, is 10%. The thing I mentioned with the layers is an HP increase effectively to the wearer.
There might be some problems because this modified armor I've made is already tapping out the modding capability of the suit of armor.
These don't inflict the whole modding thing. It's like a separate area.
Nice.
So there's like 3 or 4 different ways you can upgrade stuff that all don't interact with each other. It's very handy.
It's probably not going to be compatible with her armor though, because it's also an undersuit that it clicks onto with the meta-gel dispenser and all that.
The shielding thing will work, but maybe not the HP increase.
Yeah, but what I was just asking is, do I already know how to do that shielding thing that he's talking about?
You would have to do the project.
I mean, in
Some
principle,
of it,
not
yeah.
specifically.
You know, in principle, yeah. He seems to have worked out some things, I suppose, you might not have, but yeah.
It's just like, because we don't technically have the completed project to begin research, because you have to do it in 2 stages, so this is just like vague outlining. And I think when the lab's up and running, we should be able to make it all work. The jump jet thing should net a 50% increase in effective jump. And
Height and distance?
Actually, these jets allow for flight. We're just calling them jump jets.
yeah.
The jets that are already there.
I wanted to work on a project for you as well, Miss Diava, but I lack the basic understandings of quantum physics. I would require help, and I'm not entirely sure who to go for, do we know a quantum physicist and a medical professional we would allow to assist in the reinstallation of your amp after it was modified? A lot of them are modifications to amps, from what I understand.
Dude, do you have any idea how intimate that thing is? You're asking for something to be taken out of her head.
We could always work on a second one.
Yeah, you're basically saying, Tiala, trust me to modify this thing that plugs into your brain.
Well, more than I'm not really capable of.
Yeah, you have just seriously creeped out all the women.
Emporium with a drinking problem and a porn fetish about armor.
I can't do that stuff. I can only facilitate the assistance of someone who can. That's basically what I'm saying. I never did any work on the field, but I have heard of enhancements beyond the standard to bionic amps being quite effective.
I think long story short, what he's saying is, I've got the concepts.
I know. I just need the
He just needs the
someone to do the
practical
actual
work.
which we do know.
Yeah.
What was Attor's? Did he have quantum physics?
No,
He's
he's not that smart.
He
He's
was
fresh off
level
pilgrimage.
2.
He was on pilgrimage. He's young.
Yeah.
And so the hard light shield there is a personal project I've been working on since you had me create that much more cumbersome one. I'm partially through the way of the schematics for that, so I would like to produce that. But anything that we could sell as well in some way, I would be interested in potentially pursuing that avenue with a amount of the profits going to either the business or to you personally, however that would work. I have no problems with that, considering that it's not really my lab. Obviously there would be some things we wouldn't want to share, and I have some ideas for weapons I wouldn't exactly like fired at me. But
Okay, can I just, like, my 2 cents on the upgrades for the thing with me in it? This is kind of terrifying. The jump jet upgrades I would not be okay with until I've actually learned to use something that isn't
of course,
bigger and more powerful and kind of scary. You don't give a newbie driver like the best engine ever and throw them into a fucking wall.
these are all just basic ideas, but basically I have the costs for all of these projects and for setting up the lab as well, and this is functionally, if you find one of these acceptable, what would you like the first project to be?
That's more along your lines. I mean, I know you're working on a lot of projects yourself.
Well, the shield VI improvements are similar to things our special forces teams use. I've seen them work before. It'll be easier for you to complete that.
Of course, and it should be quite beneficial to everyone.
Especially since I'm already sort of doing it.
Well, we could work in tandem if you would prefer. I always like to work with other people.
That's
Get on
probably a
dates.
good starter project to test the water. It
Start with
doesn't
the-
have explosive rocket.
I was going to
fuel.
say, based on Zalo's knowledge, you do realise you could probably get some of your projects done quicker if you got him to do certain aspects of it as well.
Yeah, but then they're not my projects. And then I need something else to fill my time with.
More projects.
I'm already working on like 5.
Rocky numbers.
Yeah. They're all going to get done without me falling into a bottle and gambling all my money away.
It's something to keep me occupied. I won't be drinking as much while I'm working.
Well, good luck pitching it to the boss.
It's
I
already
want to
sort
see
of
a
pitched.
cost-benefit analysis first.
Of course. Well,
Start
get-
with the shield project first.
just to get the lab set up, ignore the random names written on this. Here's the costs for that. And then, if we wish to start with the shield project, this is, of course, that's for an advanced laboratory. It should provide everything we need to do, literally anything we want.
Wait, don't we already have a laboratory set up for him? What did we pay for that for?
We hadn't quite finished off the project.
Laboratory has
On the
not
ship.
been finished, no.
No, the ship
Still.
one. He
So-
started it, but so I'm just stealing all the materials and handing it over to this project.
Yeah, the thing we have on the ship is more really just a place where I can torture that sea cucumber and do minor analysis at this point.
I believe what
29,000 credits.
Yes.
Plus 500 iridium. 480 palladium.
Labs are quite expensive.
480 platinum. 35 demented 2000s. 300. I can't read. 300 Waynanium
Wamuyo.
40 strangers. Crimes. Omni tools. Between practice.
That's the
Fails
names.
breakjack snack.
Those are the names you're not supposed to read.
Fails breakjack and snack. Have you been naming Retribution members?
And then I theorized for the ablative VI upgrade, at least in the first stage, to be somewhere in the amount of 15,000 credits and 5,000 palladium.
We are definitely talking long-term funding.
Because that's not out of the slush fund. That's actually out of. Should I say this? Low gain ship fund.
No, not happening.
But it should improve our battlefield effectiveness, especially when you consider. I figure about a 10% increase with the first version of the VI upgrade. It might be slightly less for our shields, but for the Colossus, that's quite a substantial gain. And I can do improvements beyond that, but of course things get more expensive when you try to refine. It might be better to go to do more of the lower end projects first and refine them later. Of course, this also provides me with both an incredible amount of stuff to do and also a lot of motivation to make anything that we could potentially salvage less damaged by explosives, because the funding will be quite significant by the end. Although I'm hoping that with these upgrades we can sort of improve our potential incomes. And I will work for free, effectively, though
Because that was going to be the way it was anyway.
I might at some point ask for minor assistances on personal projects, but I would also prefer to fund the majority of those myself.
Well, thank you for your application. The board will discuss it and get back to you within a week or two.
Of course.
Rover, can I see you in the cargo hold? Do.
Just go.
You better not have gotten me in trouble.
Bat. Picks up Bat from the side couch.
Squint checks shield levels.
Taps Bat on hand in your face. Because if you did. Yeah, boss. What up?
I think it would be a good idea to imply that Zalu has gotten you into trouble somehow, but be unspecific as to what. This should allow you to have some fun with him over the next few days.
Gotcha, boss. Thank you.
All right then, good talk.
At least,
Follow Logade back, and then it'll just be like evil squint at Zolu.
I love authorized hijinks.
What did I do? How did she?
Tiala, can I see you in the cockpit, please?
I don't understand.
Then I'm going to go back to the hold and just be playing
I have
rubber ball baseball
provided
bat.
Rover with the opportunity to have some fun at Zalu's expense,
after the
intimating that somehow she has gotten into trouble because of him.
that works for a while. They'll
This
keep
will
on its
keep you
toes.
busy while we decide how we're going to find enough money to fund this ridiculous Quarian's ridiculous lab.
Hey, you're already looking at funding anyway. It's an awesome lab for awesome things.
See, my biggest issue is I don't want my enemies to have better shields.
Yes, anything we create and sell will undoubtedly be picked up by the Void Wraith. So that we can't really sell anything weaponizable or useful, but we could have a private market in law enforcement and military contracting. I can make some calls to see if any of the Turian military would be interested in an exclusive contract to pick up certain things like that. But I don't think an open market sale of such things would be in our best interests until the Void Wraith are gone forever.
I can talk to
Season 6.
my sisters about it.
So 150 people will know.
I've only got two sisters that I talk to, three, but two sisters I talk
The number keeps going up. Every time I turn around, you've got a new sister. And they're all really attractive. Have you noticed that?
No, I haven't.
Well, of course you haven't. You're an Asari. You don't notice anything. Your professionalism is unquestionable. But I'm just one, well, probably two or three small boys standing on each other's shoulders.
Yes, and I think the sergeant would appreciate it though if we can sell it to CSEC.
All that, yes.
What if it was
She knows I'm kidding.
Do I?
Yeah, you do.
I think if we need to talk to Sergeant, the White Council, maybe they would be appreciative of some of this stuff.
I certainly think we should get that, but that's a lot of credits. I don't even have that much.
I wasn't kidding. It'd be the ship fund.
Well, that's a ship fund, not the lab fund. So we're going to have to build up to it over time.
The lab's technically a ship upgrade. That's the area it's in the book, which is why I couldn't find it.
Is that a loophole you'll accept?
What's that?
Because the whole this money only goes to the ship fund thing is kind of like a GM thing, so he doesn't punish us for being wealthy.
Wealthy, yes.
Because
I see
the
what
lab
you're
is
doing.
technically a ship upgrade.
Because I believe but you're going to be doing it
In the warehouse.
warehouse.
Yeah.
The Citadel is a ship.
It isn't! It's a station!
It can jump like a ship.
So can other stations.
Yes.
That doesn't make it a ship. The ability to jump doesn't a ship
You
make.
same teaming us here, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, here's the thing. If you put the ship fund towards the lab, it's going to mean you really have to start all over with the ship fund again, so
Pretty
it's
much.
your call.
And I don't want to do that. Like, how far off are we?
Well, you want a frigate?
I mean, like,
Not-
that's not
You still
practical
haven't-
anytime soon.
Even when you still haven't bought your little Scooty Puff Juniors that you've been meaning to.
I mean,
we
that's
would-
going to put paid to that. So it's
Yeah.
like, so one player's thing to do, or what do we do here?
We could build little Scooty Puff.
Like, that is a ridiculous amount of credits. What was that, like 29,000
Plus
credits?
materials.
Plus mats.
There is actually 5,000 credits of like if something goes wrong, we can replace a component worked into that, so it goes down to 24,000.
It's still, like, that's a lot. I mean, I have 20,000-ish credits.
The thing is, I believe you got most of the materials.
Yeah.
And
No, we have
only-
some.
no,
See,
No,
that-
I think there was only two you didn't quite
Yeah.
have enough of.
Oh,
pro-
no,
the-
but,
was
no,
Visa,
but
wasn't it?
he's upped it.
No, those are the actual numbers.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, we didn't have that much materials.
Okay, so this is all. The upgrades go to the base. We don't actually spend a tremendous amount of time on the thing, so it would be very hard to get utility out of it unless it's automated.
This will be
Because-
going on the Citadel.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
We spend
your
a lot of
current ship's not big enough to have a lab of
Yeah.
that scope on it.
Which is
That's
why we need the
problem.
frigate.
So the creation of the project itself, the stuff you need to get going, can be effectively, it's like our schematic work. We can sort of do it anywhere, and then the actual just finishing up the project requires the lab. So it wouldn't. Every time we come back, I could effectively, depending on how long we would have, finish out a project with some roles. And
I just don't think this is the thing we can do right now, but we can certainly
can
start,
start working
doing.
towards
We
it,
can
yeah.
start.
Yeah.
We can start it, but it's not like a thing we can just pop out of the box right now.
Well, no.
Because their party fund is
I can't read that.
28 now.
Jesus fuck, that's not a lot.
No, after I paid you back for the armour,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
ripped it down quite a bit.
Well, that was
That was the plan.
that was just for that one part of the armor. The rest is I just was like, fuck it, don't care. I can't be bothered costing it out again. So, really, you got a bargain on that. Right. Well, let's hope we get a ton of loot from the pirate mission. Hey, if we get a fuck ton of loot in a ship from the pirate mission, you can have your lab. All right. We'll make that ship. We'll sell that to your people. Do a ship trade with the Quarian fleet. So
I'll just get a green scarf. They won't know it's me.
Use your mum and dad as a proxy.
Well, I mean, you
I am
are wearing
Mardos.
a different set of armor.
And they never saw me in my old armor either, that I'm aware of.
So it's basically just contingent on don't say your name around.
I'm not
Yeah.
Zala, I'm Ulaz. Yes, that'll do.
Plus, I'll just make sure I won't go to the Rayan, and we'll be fine.
Yep.
I'll sell to the Tess Riot. It's fine. It's fine. There's a ship names.
All right. I am actually aware of that. Believe it or not,
I don't.
because I played the games.
What games?
Mass Effect 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And not 3 in Andromeda.
I mean, I played 3. That's how I know it sucks, and that's how I can tell.
That's how he didn't play Andromeda.
And that's how I can tell. And it's well, Andromeda just straight up doesn't fucking count with that writing
Doesn't
stuff.
fit at all.
It's real bad. I didn't know why you played it. You should
It
have
had
learned
jump
after
jets.
3.
Any game with jump jets can get me into it.
Dark Void.
Tribes?
2 human?
Yes.
Yeah, that's my boy. Sucks, but jetpacks make everything better.
Yeah.
Right. So for the remainder of the I'm going to say to GL that the thing is like, okay, so presuming we can get a ship stack of loot from these blood packs and a ship, then we can do it with that, right?
Yes.
We can sell that and do that. So that will be if we can do it. Otherwise, we'll build up to it. Maybe kick in a bit from the ship from closer, but we'll work towards that. That's a substantial asset.
If we could
We'll have to cancel the bikes.
Yes.
Postpone the bikes.
Postpone the bikes.
Build our own bikes.
If we could get a buy-in from the from the Turians or from the
I don't think they'll set it up ahead of time. I'm just seeing if they'd be interested.
yeah,
in
but if
being
they are interested in it, then maybe we can. Maybe it'd be a decent idea that we can push forward, push a bit more money into it to get it done faster.
Anyway, no point thinking about it now. We
No.
need to think about this. So right, we've got about what, like 9 hours before we get there now.
Yeah, about
okay,
that.
everyone. If you'll buddy up with Rover, if you'll switch to chapter 7 of that book I gave you, you will learn how to fight some Krogan with some effective small unit tactics for the bonus.
Okay, so I see where this is going.
Tiala, I want to try something with you. I've been working on a program.
Yes.
We'll need the galactic map in the cockpit.
All right.
I am going to switch the galactic map's projection mode to a grid square. And we're going to go through the same
Tactics.
tactical stuff, but in a visual format.
Yeah.
So we can spot problems and we can do that.
So you're just after a knowledge tactics bonus? Or are you...
like a combat bonus against Krogan specifically.
Krogan with
Vorcha.
Vorcha, and you would change it from having a battalion of Krogan to switching it out to Vorcha
And then mixed.
and mix it up. And
I think I'm going to go platoon scale.
yeah,
And we're going to work.
Okay, so you're basically just after like a plus bonus against Krogan and Vorcha enemies, essentially.
yes,
Okay.
And specifically, I'm going for sort of like interior ship and interior base environments mainly, because when we're in the open,
it's a whole
there are
different.
too many variables in
Yeah.
the amount of time we've got, so we're just going to train on that. And then after that, I'm just going to say, so how effective do you think this method is in going through this kind of tactic?
I like. We don't do enough of this. Like, especially with their recruits. I mean, I've been doing this for a very long time. You've been doing it for a long time.
I'm trying to work the kinks out of the display system for visual reference, so that I can unload it on the B team.
I think this will be good if we actually. How long we got now?
Not enough.
The thing is, yeah, you don't know the total trip because you've got to go into the system
Yeah.
and then do some hunting.
But they will be working.
Yeah,
So
we'll be on game time.
no, this will work. It's our fastest way to protect our own knowledge of.
There's one or two other ideas I've had, but I don't think they have direct practical application. But they can engender appropriate thought process. So really, prior mission is not the best. Also, I didn't bring my minis.
What?
Never mind.
I thought that's what you're doing when you said you changed the map to grid.
That's why he started. It would have been little figures going around the map.
They were hexagons before.
Roman play X-based ball games. Like Battletech.
Okay, so everybody makes a knowledge tactics roll to see how much they actually take in for this.
19.
20.
Knowledge tactics.
19.
Ah, God, I wish I had two more. Damn it.
What did you get?
28.
Okay, so everybody gets a +2 bonus fighting Krogan and Vorcha enemies.
You're
for
welcome.
the next 40 hours, basically.
So to attack check. Or
So we'll find them in
attack
41 hours.
check. It's very useful.
Sleep.
The initial transit.
Sleep.
Sleep before hit station, yeah.
Get 3 hours sleep.
Yeah, I'll also get sleep.
There has been too much sitting and reading, so Rover is going to have to go to the
You called yourself Rover!
Yep, deliberately. And
not canon.
Yeah, and just like hitting the rubber ball up at the wall for a few hours with the baseball bat, just exercising before he can get some sleep in. Too much sitting around.
Do you have any of the gym stuff still on?
Yes.
Or was it all? Yeah. Was there
We had some training dummies
basic
on there. Most of
weights
it.
too, if you want, I believe.
Yeah.
I think it's more like one of those. If I remember right, it's like just one of those universal. Just like you can do weights, you can do like the leg things. Yeah. You can do your
Butterfly. It's a butterfly press.
Yeah. It's one of those machines that's got it's a multi-gym or whatever you call it.
Oh, that's right, I forgot.
And it's fun. There are over 40 exercises you can do on it.
Oh god.
Why not try it today? I can't remember the name.
Kichwa.
Yeah. That sounds like each one.
He was a boxer who was advertising this. Used to get these things that were like the little home gym thing. They had a sliding rail and these pulley handles. You could so basically
I
you do
remember
resistance things. But there was a specific one he advertised. It might have been the Perfect Gym or something like that. And he would be like, you can get your exercise at home. And those things were more effective than doing nothing.
Was that one of the ones where it would have that voiceover saying, "Now traditional gym systems are..."
No, this was before that.
And he was like, "They act like retards.
Yeah.
They aren't using it properly." It's like nobody uses it like
What do
that.
you watch there?
Because what you do when you go into a gym is you just go up to a machine and assume you know how to use it, and you don't pay for the training session that tells you how to do this. And so they should, because a lot of gyms that I've had experience with, you can pay for a training session every now and then. And it's like, here, what do you want to do? It's like, I just want to work out my upper body. They'll show you a bunch of exercises to do in a workout, how to use the machines you need. It's like because you're just going to go there and you're going to, I don't know what I'm doing, and this is certainly going to be effective because it's what I see other people doing, right? No, it wasn't. This was before that era of thing, and he was just like, you can exercise in your own home, and he would be doing it with this like massively perfect, awesome body.
Yeah.
God, was it Frank Bruno? No, it wasn't Frank
I just remember he was eventually replaced by Chuck Norris.
Yes.
I'd be more likely to buy it from Chuck Norris.
Why? He's a fucking fraud.
Because he's Chuck Norris.
I would be more likely to buy it from Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Well, of course, but
But that's the second time that guy's come up today.
you see how many people it took to take down Chuck Norris in the Ultimate Showdown of Ultimate Destiny?
Anyway,
Mr. Rogers.
we might as well pause
Yes,
now
he's
and order
won.
food.
But he didn't kill. 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 Kill.